Google has made a drastic threat to disable its search engine in Australia if the federal government passes laws forcing it to pay news outlets for content. While the tech giant wants to negotiate the details of proposed media codes designed to protect journalism, the Prime Minister is standing firm.
We may need to search for a new favourite search engine as Google threatens to block Australia if the federal government's proposed media bargaining code becomes law.
It would give us no real choice but to stop making Google search available in Australia.
The code would force tech giants to pay Australian media organisations for linking to their content. Google today telling a Senate inquiry news only accounts for 1.25% of searches.
And yet if this legislation passes, you'll shut down search for everybody, for everything across the country. And that's a hell of a threat.
It's not a threat, it's a reality.
Then tweeting this video, trying to relate to users.
Imagine your friend asks for a coffee shop recommendation. So you tell them about a few nearby so they can go and choose one and go get a coffee. But then you get a bill to pay all the coffee shops, simply because you mentioned a few of them.
But experts say there's a problem with that analogy. See, you wouldn't follow your friend to the coffee shop, take note of their order and then sell all of that information. The committee hearing Google Australia only paid $59 million in corporate tax last year, despite a gross revenue of $4.8 billion, mostly from ads. While Google is willing to negotiate,
we don't respond to threats.
As Facebook repeats its warning to remove news content from the platform.
I can reassure the committee that this does not mean that Facebook will no longer be available.
But experts suggest it might be time to hit refresh.
I think Australians need to have a really long, hard think about our over-reliance on both Google and Facebook. And regardless of how this unwinds, we need to be thinking about alternatives now.
Chloe Bouris for 10 News First.
The bottom 20% get nothing. They're really unfair tax cuts.
People want to see much stronger action from the government when it comes to climate change.
It's no coincidence that we have a wages crisis in Australia.
Transitioning to net zero emissions, it doesn't seem like there's much room for gas.